Hi there, Mike Manbluff, and ready to draft some Theros Block 8-4. So I journey into Nyx, Born of the Gods Theros. Got a somewhat underwhelming pack, but Setessan Tactics seems pretty sweet, and it actually is pretty sweet. Doesn't just seem it. Setessan Tactics is going to be the pick, but for the sake of fun, let's go through and take a look at some other cards. I actually don't even know what this Tormented Thoughts does. Discard target player just Yeah, that seems like it's kind of terrible. Mogus Warhound, pardon me, Warhound is pretty good. Just being able to beat down for two for two in the red. Plus that bestow is pretty awesome. Nyx Infusion, I would play begrudgingly the Weight of the Underworld, so I'll play this. It's even better. Sigiled Skink, I would love to have one of those cards. Farik is Chosen, awesome. I mean, I like myself a Sedge Scorpion. Why wouldn't I like Farik is Chosen? Otherwise, the pack seems somewhat underwhelming, but Setessan Tactics is by far the best card. This Swarmborn Giant is actually really terrible. Second, I would take the Warhound over anything else in the pack. Now, I have some choices. This is definitely some choices. So, the Dictate of Karametra, no thank you, seems incredibly underwhelming for what it's going to be giving me, especially at 5. So I have choices. Grim Guardians is pretty sweet. I just decided to be here because why not start here? Grim Guardian's sweet if I get my Constellation deck on. Then again, the effect that it does have is relatively underwhelming, but I think it's pretty cool, and I want to try this black-green Constellation type deck going on. Market Festival, no thank you. There's a Freakish Chosen that would be sweet to have. Supply Line Cranes is. I mean, I like myself a Supply Line Cranes. If you've seen any of my other drafts, you'll know that I happen to always be in blue-white flyers of some sorts. Some of these cards are. I'm actually. I don't know. The Freakish Chosen might be slightly stronger than Supply. Pardon me. Freakish than the Grim Guardians, but I'm gonna take the Supply Line Cranes just because I think it is stronger than the Freakish Chosen. And then I kind of get rewarded with a really sweet Sky Spear Cavalry, pardon me, not Calvary. That card is good. Reviving Melody, I'm not going to spend a pick this early to get it. If I want something of the sort of this type of effect, I'll get it. Um, no, I'm not picking this up this early. I could see matchups where this might be exciting, but I don't need to pick it here. Renowned Weaver is cool. Instant speed if I leave the mana open, Constellation trigger, but right now the cavalry. Cavalry. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying this. Normally it's a word that I can say relatively easily. The blue and the black cards, underwhelming. Pensive Minotaur is fine. Font of Fertility, also underwhelming. And Rotted Hulk, incredibly underwhelming. So the white bird is really good there. Whew, okay. So, choices. I have a sweet 2-drop in the Grove Dancer. Worst case scenario, 2 for 2, which is fine. I'll take it. Maybe best case scenario, I put the 1/1 counter on something awesome. Cast into Darkness is a really good card if I'm going to be in. Well, I don't. I just words just stopped coming out of my mouth for a second. Cast into Darkness is good. So the Plyline Cranes, we all know that I like. Eagle of the Watch is a reasonable pickup. Humbler of Mortals, yeah, that card can do some things. It's 6. I think there's some better cards in the pack though. Cura's Dismissal, I'm not going to move into blue for it. A Crowan Mastiff is good. I do already have a Supply Line Cranes. I'd taken a Crowan Mastiff, and I mean this white is flowing, so I'm not going to move into another color just for it. And this, wow, this print run looks incredibly similar to the second pack. Or yeah, incredibly similar to the second pack. Uh, Cards that I could pick here, still not necessarily excited to move into blue just for a Kiora's Dismissal. I mean, now that there was two, and of course there's a lot of enchantments, but what I might be able to get blue might be pretty difficult to get. Blue white, geez, if I can avoid it. Blue green, but the thing with blue, not blue green, pardon me. Green white is I still feel is relatively underwhelming. Um, I'm not excited about taking a Gold Forge Sentinel. I have sweet power in the air. I will just take the 2 drop here. Well, that's actually what is the sixth? It would be a sixth pick Starfall. It's not the best removal, but it is more than halfway decent. And if red is coming this late, this far into the pack, a decent red card like this. Actually, and I haven't passed any red. Getting hooked up in pack 2 would be awesome. Because I do have choices over Panoply without really heroic targets, or in another Crowan Mastiff. I think Starfall's high enough power level where I could take it there and not feel too bad about taking it. And wow, okay, so white is definitely open. I passed what would be probably a third pick supply line cranes and a late Acroan Mastiff, which is unfortunate. But definitely taking the reprisal there because it's just that good of a card. I do have a choice here. I didn't see any good blue. Sigiled Starfish, I think, is reasonable to pick up here. Maybe even a pick or two earlier because it's pretty sweet. But I could easily take another Starfall. Pensive Minotaur is fine, but largely replaceable. This thing, I would play it, sure, but I already have some pretty sweet late drops, and removal is removal, right? I already have one Starfall. If I can have a second, I'm not going to take a Sigiled Starfish over a second Starfall. And what is this, my original pack? Not too surprising. The pack itself wasn't all that strong. I'm not surprised that like the Sigiled Skink got taken, the Fairies Band dude, the 5 drop Centaur guy with Inspired. Um, but these cards are meh. No thanks for this. No thanks for this. I'm not especially interested in all of that Crufix's insight, so I guess I take Arise the Eagles. I feel like it's the best card out of the ones that were there. I could be wrong. Um, I mean, lowest common denominator, right? I guess I don't know. I'm mixing my metaphors and it's getting me confused. Here, no thanks. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna take the rare, just because it's rare, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Well, now I have a choice, actually. I do have 2 Starfalls, and I didn't see red getting passed to me. Not too much red, and red in Theros isn't all that great. But Born of the Gods is where you want to be for the red. So I took all of the good red, and Starfalls did get passed late to me. I'll take the Rollick because there is a chance. Oh, geez, and I got this guy. Font of the Return sweet, but not going to be black. Well, can be sweet. Humbler of Mortals. Well, just all over the place. Clearly, I'll take a blue card. I'm definitely, and I have one of each color. This is kind of unfortunate that white started to dry out. My white is by far the strongest right now. Um, with red being a not I don't want to say a close second, but 2 and 3 are definitely close to each other. Can't play Bile Blight, which is unfortunate. Or I mean, Servant of Timerit, second best card. Well, not sec. Pardon me. The words just came out of my mouth. Bile Blight is would probably be the pick. Double black is rough. Um, I could try black white. That would be sweet. There's no good red cards, and I'm worried about spreading myself too thin because all I've got is. I'm probably going to end up in white, and it's time to find my second color. It's sad about the Cetessan tactics. Um, so, what black was passed? Really, not that much. Bile is just the strongest pick. I could take a Revoke Existence, but then again, this type of effect is all over the place. Nyxborn Wolf is really good, but I have a feeling I'm just not going to be in green. Like, there wasn't much good green. I did pick up the Renowned Traveler a little late, but underwhelming in terms of signals. Uh, None of the red cards are exciting. Definitely not going to be playing blue. I'm going to take the Bioblade. Just, let's be a little risky here. Okay. Alright. So, I have some choices. Spiteful Return's really good. Spiteful Return is quite good. Still no red, so actually zero red cards in the pack. This guy's not that great at all. I'm gonna be really sad if Starfall if I just lose out on all these Starfalls. But then again, I would have been picking up the equivalents of like Font of Vigor, pardon me, over it. But the real question is, do I play that ultra controlling game where I get to 7 and then play a Fated Retribution? I don't think so. I'm gonna be white and I could play this, but I don't think this is the kind of effect that I want. Then again, when I have it, I can play around it. But Spiteful Return just seems really good, so I'm going to take it. Um, Farragax Giant is okay. Kragma Butcher is pretty decent, and Fearsome Temper is really good. But so far, it seems like my black. I know that I'm playing white, so the Ghostblade Eidolon attracts me, and my black is starting to shape up as being a little more than halfway decent. A little more than halfway decent. I don't know what. So what does that mean? Like 75% decent? Um, Tempted by the foil just because, well, foil. And look at those eyes. Whoa. Look at those eyes. How do I say no to that? Well, I say no with a Ghostblade Eidolon. I'm gonna need some lower drops, hopefully. Okay, well, rewarded, I guess. Ornithark. If there was a sweet white card to pick up, geez, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12? What is this fourth pick? Third pick? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, fourth pick Ornithark. Yes, please. Okay. I don't feel too bad. This red card is sweet, but it is what going into the pack the only 5 picks in, the only red playable. So I'm not upset at all. But the question is, I'm not going to move into a blue for one of these. Sunstorm is pretty good, but I'm not going to move into blue for it. Marshmist Titan, unexciting. Combat Tricks also pretty unexciting. So the question is, do I want, say, a Necrobite or a Mortal's Ardor? I don't even know. I feel like I'll probably be able to get at least one of these, and it doesn't look like my black is all too great. I guess I could also be looking at green. What, the Sky Reaping? Tough. Necrobite. Okay. Well, I guess I have a finisher of sorts. I just have to get to 7. Alright. Got to 7. Sweet. I have a 2 drop. Double white, double black on 2 is sucks. But I do need a 2 drop. I'm definitely playing white. So, time to take it. Vanguard of Burmez is pretty cool too. Archetype of Aggression. That guy's good, but not at all white. Well, I took a Necrobite. I'm not going to play 2 Necrobites, so I'll take a Mortal's Ardor here. Odds are I'm not going to play both of them. I guess I could. Grizzly Transformation is okay, it draws me a card. And the Fated Retribution came back. High enough power level compared to the Marshmist Titan, and maybe I get to the point where I'm not aggressive. Not I don't want to say aggressive enough, but controlling enough, especially in the third pack with things like the. I know the flyer is late, the one with vigilance, and you pay a white and a black and 3 life to regenerate. I forget its name. Sure, take the 5 drop. I guess I could have taken this Tessin guy. Oh look, and a Marshmist Titan came back anyway. Um, that and the Scholar of Athreos are pretty sweet, and I guess I'm in the best colors for the removal of the third pack, the Theros pack. Well, giving up on lightning strikes, but whatever. So that's a not play anyway. This is a halfway decent, and this is a halfway decent. So like I have 2, 1 plus no 3/4, and then like a half. So I have like 2 1/4 green playables. Oh, I have like 7 green playables now. Duh. Well, this at least I didn't draft blue white this time. Is all I'm saying. That's my thoughts going into this. Black white. Okay. Well, this makes me sad that I'm not in blue white, but Agent of Fates. I was gonna say Agent of Nemesis of Mortals. That's not a card. But I could actually even see me getting something back out of this pack. Someone's gonna have some choices in blue. All three of these cards are pretty good. Nimbus Knight being the best, and then Thassa's Emissary. But I guess depending, no, Thassa's Emissary is still better. Uh, but what could I see getting back? I probably don't want a Cavern Lampad, but I'd take the Observant Alcide, Battlewise Valor if I do want it, that type of trick. I probably don't, but I'll take it. Agent of Fates is easily the pick, though. Uh, okay, I got scared for a second. I thought it wasn't picking it. Dauntless Onslaught. Jeez, where's this blue earlier? I wish I was in blue now. Alright, so Dauntless Onslaught, if I was going to have a oh dear, I almost picked it. It would be this. Uh, Burnished Heart, if I think I need to get up there in mana. I'm not going to play this War Chanter. Let's just hide the green. Cavern Lampad's fine. Viper's Kiss is fine. Scourge Mark draws me a card. Might be able to get me up there. Tempted to just take the 2-drop because I don't. Oh, nope. Let's hide green because I don't really have any. But Dauntless Onslaught, if I'm going to play a combat trick, it'll be Dauntless Onslaught. Okay. So, well, green. Choices. Foil. Setessan Battle Priest. There you go. There's my 2-drop. I'd still much rather prefer the Traveling Philosopher. I do have 5s. Do I just ignore the power level of Grey Merchant for just consistency's sake and take the Traveling Philosopher? It looks like I probably should. I don't even have that many black permanents, so I'm not even going to play that Agent of Erebos. Marshmith's Titan's probably not going to get played. I have a Grizzly Transformation, the Agent of Erebos, and then Spiteful Return, so yeah. The pick is just Traveling Philosopher. It's going to serve me better anyway. Well, Triad of Fates is interesting. I'm in the colors for it, which is sweet. Ordeal, yes please. I don't have the deck that would necessarily make the best use of the Ordeal, so I don't know. But I don't know. How do you pass up the power level? Just the raw power level of an Ordeal? Because if I do just get lucky and like I do have 3 2-drops, so 2-drop into Ordeal, I could just run away with a game. Uh, is there a chance that this Triad even comes back? Probably not, but all right, now it's the kind of question where am I gonna have that type of grindy game where I get ahead, and start triading, or do I just want to try and win with the Ordeal? Ugh. This is incredibly grindy, and oh, that sounds so sweet, but I think I just take the power level of the Ordeal, especially if I plan on grabbing some 2-drops here. Oh, and Thusa. Kind of sad that there was some pretty sweet green cards, but I didn't see any reason necessarily to be green, so it's not all too bad. The Laguna Band Elder is just the pick though. It's easy enough pick. Ooh, Read the Bones. I like that. That's something my deck wants. I do have some decent removal. I would like both of these the Freaka Cure and the Dark Betrayal. My mana is a little interesting. I do have like Bile Blight plus this interesting 2-drop, but Read the Bones is probably just going to serve me better over the long term. Do I care about White Devotion? Probably not. I mean, 13 creatures. Ray of Dissolution. I'll play it main deck. Ashen Rider. Well, I certainly don't need an Opaline Unicorn. Yeah, let's go big. 7 and an 8-drop? Why not? I don't even think I'll be able to get to 8. I would have to grind out the game so hard in order to get there. No, why not? Let's try it. It's in my colors. It's definitely shouldn't be in the deck just because it costs so much, but how often do you pass up this opportunity when you're in the colors like this? Scourge Mark, honestly, just to draw a card, or Cavern Lampad. I don't have many 4s, so I'll take the Cavern Lampad. Plus, I do want creatures. And look, I can have a Scourge Mark, but Side Mark, Viper's Kiss is going to serve me a little bit better. Cool, and I got the Setessan Battle Priest. That's another target for my Ordeal, which is pretty sweet. Alright, so I've seen worse. Not much worse, but I've seen worse. I'm not going to play this Marshmas Titan. What is it, just a 7 drop? I'd rather have this Sentinel Sliver. Enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Nope. Not interested. Norton, get away. Return Centaur. I don't have any shenanigans that goes on with it, but if I happen to need another 4 drop blocking thing, Lost in the Labyrinth, take that card away from him. Oh, I've got a 2/1 flyer for first strike. 2/1 flyer for 4 with first strike. This will be an interesting build. An interesting build indeed. I'm going to want to play at least 7 black, which means I'm probably not going to be hitting Agent of Erebos, Agent of Fates. I have Agent of Erebos and Agent of Fates. That's interesting. On turn, or Agent of Fates on turn 3 and Bioblade on turn 2, but their cards are still power enough where I'm going to want to play them. I'm pause for just a second. I'll be back. Alright, so I'm at 21 cards in my deck. Not the greatest curve by any means. I guess there was a couple times where I could have taken like what those rotted hulks instead of having great hearts, but I didn't anticipate even being in black after in these last couple packs. But everything else seemed to dry up, and there were definitely mistakes made somewhere. But I feel like the black cards that I got were better than any of the other colors that I would have seen. Like what I could have 2 Starfalls here and maybe some borderline red cards like a Everflame Eidolon. Is it called the Everflame Eidolon? The one that gives whatever fire breathing, or gives the thing it bestows fire breathing and has fire breathing itself. But my black is pretty sweet. Agent of Fates can't. I don't know if you can count it because it is the rare, so I got lucky in that sense. Bioblight was awesome. What? Read the Bones, really good. This Spiteful's actually pretty nice too. Um, so the question is, how do I want to play this? I've got my 7 drop, which will be hard to get to with just the 17 lands, but hopefully I'm able to stall out that long, or I guess just end up winning with a 2 creature dude plus Ordeal. So my deck is on both ends of the spectrum, definitely. But hey, sometimes that's just what happens. I have Reprisal in the 3 drop, 4 drop slot just because definitely not playing it on turn 2. Bioblight over at 5 just because that's when I anticipate being able to cast it. A bunch of 3 drop spells, which is underwhelming. Ray of Dissolution, going to play it because, I don't know, just the way I see it, this deck might want the 3 life, and the 3 life might be pretty sweet. And, well, lots of artifacts out there. Hopefully you all know that by now. Gruza Transformation, have some ways to target the Agent of Fates would be sweet, so I've got a couple here. Spiteful Return plus this Necrobite, Dauntless Onslaught. If I am going to have a combat trick, it's going to be the Dauntless Onslaught, just because it's the best of them. Mortal's Ardor, underwhelming. I guess Agent of Fates makes me prioritize these combat type tricks or targeting effects a little bit more because I can get some work out of them, which altogether might be a reason to have the Mortal's Ardor in, uh, just because of the power that Agent of the Fates could provide. And if I am able to at least get some couple hits out of it, hits in the sense of this and my opponent sacks a dude, then that's enough where hopefully my late game will be able to take over these flyers in the air. Flyers in the air, a bit redundant. The question is, what are the 2 cards that I want to add? That's my thoughts on Mortal's Ardor. Targeting effect, pretty sweet. I don't have Viper's Kiss over there because it'll be a sideboard card if I need it. This little pile over here, the 7 and an 8 drop, I'm probably not going to be playing them just because, yes, although I have it in my deck, I'm not set up to have that kind of grindy win where I could, if my opponent does play a creature afterwards, okay. But yeah, I don't have the kind of setup where I could take full advantage over that. I'm not the control deck really. Ashen Rider is just too expensive. I took it because, well, giggles. So the 4 drop slot. Marshmish Titan is going to be a 7. I already have 1/7, and this one's far better. So, not excited. Not interested in playing it at all. I don't really have black permanents. I've got a couple. So the question is, do I want another potential bestow thing? So bestow onto the Agent of Fates. At 6 is not all that bad. It is a 4 drop, so not that it helps my curve, but playing it on 4 is incredibly underwhelming. There's the Return Centaur, which is 4. It's got a big enough body. If I'm playing Great Heart, I guess I could play Return Centaur. There's the Flyer, which I guess if I'm weak to Flyers, I could play that. So right now, I'm not excited about playing it. Um, so for my same thinking for uh, slightly prioritizing because I have Agent of the Fates, I'm inclined to say that I might want to play Mortal's Ardor and then probably even the Cavern Lampad and then play 17 lands and hopefully I can get there. Is my thinking because just one more targeting effect for the agent is pretty good. Plus, who knows, I might end up needing the lifelink and then Cavern Lampad because if the game does end up getting somewhere, make my opponent sacrifice the thing. Granted, at 6, my opponent's probably not going to have a couple or my opponent is probably going to have a couple things and being able to sacrifice the most meaningless of the things is probably what's going to end up happening. Um, I have one Great Heart. I don't think I need two, so I'll play that. Um, just 8 is so 7 is pushing it. 7 is definitely pushing it. 8 is just ridiculous. I think if I'm getting to 8, the way that the deck is set up, I'm probably dead. And I don't think Fated Retribution is what I want to be doing. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and just the fact that this is super powerful and super powerful that I should be playing it, and because I know about it, it's in my deck. I can play around it or play the board accordingly. But geez, I could see this just being so miserable. And I already have a 7. I don't two sevens is two a 7 and an 8 is even more ridiculous. Yeah, I think I'm okay where I'm at. I have okay enough removal, and I think I'm justified in my thinking for the Mortal's Ardor. So let's look at the converted mana. Not even converted mana cost. That curve looks halfway decent, but when you look spells to other things, it's not. Wizards is going to suggest something really ridiculous. Probably something in the neighborhood of like, oops, 5 swamps. I'm going to say 6 swamps. Oh, okay, not too bad, but this is at minimum a 10-7 because I want to be able to play uh, Agent of Fates, and I don't want to go down probably to 9 because Vanguard. I want to be able to play Vanguard on 2 and play multiple white spells if at all possible. So there's a deck. Hopefully it doesn't do terribly. And like I said, if nothing else, I'm coming out ahead because I'm not drafting blue white again. See you in round 1.